rubbish at anything technical. And then the first time we did this, I mucked around with it, and the whole flipping thing was not recorded. So I don't know. I'll stick to. So yeah, some things don't change, Jess. Yeah, so true. That my technical knowledge in here is just rubbish, and I've got a microphone that's falling out of my pocket. I think I should just, I don't know, take up driving or something like that. Okay. Yeah. Any easier on the right side? Just feel a little easier, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to do the same now on the left side. Start off with that that stuff down this side now, and just see if we can just let that come through here. How does it feel compared to the other side, Kat? What do you think? Compared to the other side? Less? Yeah. Feels quite clear, doesn't it? You're not really bumping on anything, When you drive through, I'm always very conscious of, you can see, sorry with the camera, but, anterior deltoid here is such a main player, and the relationship between it and trapezius, and Kat talks about scalenes and that whole tightness through here, and, deltoid is such a main player here.
No, it isn't. In their neck, or definitely like a kind of bump, and I don't know whether it's what it is, whether it's kind of just like it's formed over years, or whether it's like hospital.
What you mean, sort of Dow's hump? Yeah. Dow's hump is quite. I think there's a. Does anybody know about Dow's hump? Can we throw any information on that? Don't, for God's sake, speak at once. I don't want a sudden rush of comments and intelligent Googles. We don't want any of that. But I think, has everybody got Mark is good at this? Have you got? He usually runs about 4 screens at the same time, Mark. I think Dow's hump is an autoimmune system issue, or thyroid, or something like that. Dow's hump. But it's that kind of curve at the base of the neck. Yeah, that feels sort of fatty, tissue-y type.
Yeah, but really hard.
Yeah. Somebody, have you got to a point where you're looking up Dow's hump yet, or you're still waiting for somebody else? Or?
What's that, Chris? Sorry, say that again. Do you want
Dow's hump? What? Anybody find out anything about Dow's hump? You what? Do you think that make it all bloody lazy? I'm not happy with this side, Kat. I have to break the news to you. I'm going to come back and onto this side. And just, it's fascinating, isn't it, when we have this long-term chronic, where people have done a lot of work to try and stabilise. What I want to work into here is the subcutaneous muscle here.
So
tell us, Mark.
Dramatic pause.
Yeah. So.
I know, right?
My phone's gone. Yeah.
You ever get that sense that people are listening?
So, yeah, Dowager's hump or postural kyphosis is a condition that usually occurs due to slouching.
Yeah. Any other bits to that, Mark, that are worth?
If you notice a small hump at the back of your neck, in time you can get rid of it completely by correcting muscular imbalances and changing some of your daily habits.
Isn't there a hormonal aspect to it? Is it clearing at all?
Oh, I'm just having a look through some stuff.
So 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So breath in and then breath out. Okay, so coracoid process now. Can you see that? I nearly adjusted the camera tonight to do something a bit different. Can you see all right? It's a bit tricky, isn't it, with the camera position on this left shoulder? But I'm on the coracoid process. 3 legs of the pec minor, 3, 4, and 5 rib. And if I come off the coracoid process, I can drop down, and I can pretty well feel those little legs of each one are through pec major. Yeah. And I'm going to pick one to work on. I'm going to pick this top one because that one feels quite sore there, doesn't it? And I'm just going to sort of have a bit of a conversation with it and just see if I can stretch the arm up. And so, all right, Kat, not too much. But I suppose we've got to be a bit careful here. I'm using fingertips, and we've got to be a little bit careful with, you know, the skin here is not too thick. So, you know, if you're not careful, you can bruise here. And easy, a little bit, not much, is it? Take a breath in for me. And as you breathe out, just let that go, Kat. Just let that shoulder go.
Chris, the websites I'm looking at are talking more about it just being like a curving of the spine, the sort of kyphosis. What I'm on now, it's not mentioned anything hormonal.
Okay, well, or maybe, you know, it certainly won't be the first or the last time that I've messed up. You all right? Okay. Too much? Or
That's where it's got really, there's too much. Yeah. It really sharpens my back of my arm,
interesting, isn't it?
which I've not had before.
So nice slow breath in. And as you breathe out, just release off. Yeah.
What was that?
You've been stubborn on me, Kat.
It's a good place to start.
So push up into my hand
Just don't jump
and then relax.
into
And then push up in my hand and then relax.
just don't be afraid to say like that is way above.
And then push up in my hand and then relax. Okay. Is that good, all right? A bit tight or
Yeah, it was mad. I've not had that before.
there they are. Is it just down that tricep area?
Yeah, it was like this hot, sharp pain that went all the way to there.
So that's got to be neurological, isn't it?
Mm.
It's starting to look a bit better. So let's go back to the neck and we'll just see what's happening back in the neck. This right side feels quite nice now. Would you agree?
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it? That I haven't done a huge amount of work with the lumbar groove or the attachments of levator, splenus capitis, or scalenes here. Not really, but actually now just running my fingers, just coming through next to the spine, just vertebra by vertebra. It feels kinder, you know, it feels less thoracic, kind of more less build up. If I come up to the occiput, it feels a bit more kind of pluggy there, but feels better. I like that. Okay, I want to think about scalings. I'll do this side. Now, let me just do this side first. I want to do the kind of good side, and I quite like sort of two. I think is it, you know, two-fingered. My index finger and my middle finger together, working as like a tool, like a spade, and I quite like that in the scalings group here. You can get right down into the tissue there. You know, that release that I often do both sides where the client cleans their head is good, and that builds a good sort of release. But I think it can be quite nice to come down the facet joints and dig right down into that sort of trap, but sort of very much into the scalings group here, where they come up and join onto C5 and C6, C7. I can't remember all the attachments of the scalings, but they come up quite high up. And what do? They lift the rib cage when we take a breath in. Okay, let's come over to the kind of painful side now, which we haven't really gone near at all, really, yet. First of all, I think the camera is a better view there. So come up that occiput view there is that where the pain is? Not really.
No, it's usually in the trap and in the spine.
Yeah, just very much localized in here and the trap. Okay. Again, these two fingers sort of together, I quite like using in the neck, and you can always, they feel like a spade. It's nice, and you can drop through, and there's levator there clonking away as it comes up. The sort of underneath levator scapula comes in behind the trap and comes up into C1 to C4, sort of, you know, ear level kind of thing, and it's a nice. You can, when you come over it, you can plonk. You kind of come over the tendon of it, and how's that feeling? Not too much. So, you know, the sense here is really solid sort of muscle group, and compared to the other side, feels tighter. Yeah, more meat on here. It's all kind of clogged up. So I'm going to sort of spend some time. I'm going to slow down here and just drop into some of that and just lock in. So now just, again, that whole conversation with the tissue, where we're just letting it rub over and just say hello. Get the client to take a nice slow breath in. Yeah, and as Kat starts to sort of release that shoulder off. Yeah, it sort of says, yeah, hi. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's where it is, isn't it? Yeah. So that two ways to kind of approach, I think, is not just rubbing where the pain is to start with, and having a look at just general kind of, is somebody's round shouldered, or allowing your hands to feel the opposing side and get a feel of what's going on the opposites, and then closing in, you know. So there's a sense of coming from a whole around the body, coming in to this problem area, rather than just starting with where the pain is and just dropping into that, you know, and allow your kind of your instinct of, yeah, just doesn't want to know there, does it, Kat? Really stubborn part of you here. We thought for a minute it was just you, but no, it's your neck. It's all to do. Yeah. So I'm doing this. I quite like that, but you know, some people come in with the fingertips here and that straight finger. That's quite nice to do as well. I think depends what your fingers are like, and if you've got strong, kind of solid fingers, you can chop into here. Yeah, really solid there. And I'm just going to stay there. And I think the question we always have is how long do I work on this, and do I keep sort of bashing it around and until there's a kind of relief or some sort of a better place or whatever happens. And I think that's always a challenge for us. And I'm not sure there's a kind of concrete answer. Other than for me, I think you have a go, and then I'm kind of getting to the place where I'm thinking, actually, Kat, I want to turn you over now and work some more on the back, and let the Golgi receptors do their stuff, let the brain kind of pick up what I'm doing and say, there's some work going on in these scalings, and just let that settle. It's feeling different, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit different. You know, just letting me in a little bit there. Is that too much? Or? I kind of want to back off now. I've had a fairly good sort of go at that, and I find myself wanting now to come round and look at the shoulder base, remembering that the scalings is just the problem. The problem here is the scapula and the scapula on the body. That's the problem, in that we haven't got it set properly. And if it was set properly and the neck was sitting back properly and we were upright, then we wouldn't be having this issue, and the situation wouldn't be as Kat is. Yeah, okay, that's feeling a bit easier, isn't it? And I think I read, funny enough, I was reading about it today, but because it's related to my age, when you get to 60, you've been upright for about 500,000 hours. And I thought, that's interesting. So the body has been floating around upright for millions of hours, or 500,000 hours. Don't be surprised if you can't sort Kat's neck in one treatment, because it's taken a long time for it to get this bad. You're not 60. Yeah, you reckon. Okay, so yeah, I'm really driven by when do I want to move. You know, go by your gut feelings of what you want to do, rather than the prescribed. I do 6 of them and 3 of these and 7 of those, and then I turn you over. I just think I've had a bit of a go at that, and now I'm going to turn Kat over and have a look at some of this scapular stuff. So if I just bring that up over the top of Kat, is that right? And then which way do you want to do you turn that way? And I'll hold this one. Yeah, please. Are you okay with that? Just go careful. Brilliant. Brilliant. And then come down and hold here. You don't need to wear your face mask in the hole if you. There's no need to do that. So okay, so now we got Kat laying down on her back, and then we can let's have a bit of a look at what's happening here. I've decided to go straight over on her back rather than sideline. I can't tell you particularly why, but it just seemed like I wanted to see what was happening here, and the spine. You know, she's quite rounded there, and I just felt, I don't know, just wanted to start with that. I think, I don't know. So again, I'm going to put some shea butter on me. And I'm just going to come and silo to some of this. Under here. So that real levator scapular attachment, I decided to come in from the spine and try and get around that scapular rhomboidy area, but whoa, yeah, that's pretty tight there. Just let me know if I go anything over a sort of 3s and 4s, can't you? Really, if there's some holistic kind of therapists watching, then I think there are. I can't remember people's names, so I apologise if I don't. But I think it's really interesting to, if you're kind of Swedish trained, to have a go at hardly putting any wax on at all and just slow everything down and see what happens. Taking a nice slow breath in for the screen. And relax. Okay. What I want to do now is just, I want you to lift your body up and then back down again. So just let your back, your neck come up and just come up like a snake and then back down again. Perfect. So that's the movement I want you to do in a minute. So, and then come up and then back down. And then come up and then back down. And I'll do that again. So come back up. I'll be a bit clearer when I work on the other side of exactly what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna, I'm sorry you can't see quite what I'm doing here, but really holding the tissue in here, squeezing the spine into the spine until it lets go. So I'm pushing it in and almost just shoving and squeezing the erector spinae longissimus and stopping it from sliding under my fingers. And I'm just going to stay here. And again, the fascia gently kind of releases off and then it gives way. And Kat's tissue here is pretty stubborn. When you're ready, Kat, just take a breath in for me. And as you breathe out, just let the shoulders just fall.
No. No, that's very different.
Just going to do that one. So come up again for us, Kat. And then back down again. And then come up again for me. Fantastic. And then back down. And then come up again. And then back down. Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Does it feel okay?
Ask you to sit up and then I can get in behind you from.
So what I'm doing here is I'm asking Kat to sort of lift her back up. She comes up like a snake. And as she comes up, I bring my forearm down. And as she goes back, I put the pressure on. And what I've drawn to here is up here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to really sit on this trap here and just let it kind of have a little bit of a conversation with me here. What I keep coming back to is certainly the levator, although that's starting to soften a little bit there. A little bit. What I'm drawn to here is this kind of chunk here really, and really tight tissue through that spine. I'm going to do another kind of rotational kind of move here, which I quite like. I'm going to ask Kat to, hopefully you can see all right. I'm going to sort of bend Kat's knees. I'll do it the other side so you can see on the camera. So the idea here is that I'm rocking the body. I've got the knees bent and I'm rocking the body. Can you see there's a rotation in the spine there? I can come through and hold the legs any way I want. And just what I've done is I've got our legs bent at the knee and I'm sort of rocking backwards and forwards. And you can see the rotation all the way through the spine. So I couple that with bringing my forearm, just check you can see, yeah, okay. So I bring my forearm through, get that knife of the ulnar involved. And again, I can rotate my wrist here. Oh, just amazing, works so well. And at the same time, as I bring it up, then I rotate her. And then, wow, I can really feel. Is that okay? And then I'm rocking her backwards and forwards, just trying to get some rotation in the erector spinae there, and facet joints again. And it doesn't really want to know, and it doesn't really want to sort of play game with me really. I had no idea that you were as stubborn as this, Cat. Well, maybe I did. You're great to have as a model because it's just great because it's plenty to work on.
Does that work well for lower back pain?
Sorry?
That work well for lower back pain?
Oh yeah. I usually use it around QL and glutes, but I just want to catch just solid here. You know, you can just feel that band of tightness here of retraction, protraction. And I'm just looking at different ways. I could have a sideline and come up this sideline, which we might run out of time. We'll see how we get on for timing, but just a technique I like to use, and it just gets movement into this, and you can rock the body, and then while you're rocking, then you can put the pressure on and just let your body sink into that. And I hope you can see that okay in the camera. Yeah, does it? There, Kat, yeah. And here where I'm sitting on that, I don't know, where am I, T6, T7, T8, that kind of figure. And that rib there is pretty solid, isn't it? Yeah. And make no doubt that the issue here is related to the neck and scalenes. Let's not separate any of this. This is all to do with chronic long-term postural stuff that people have been chasing pain rather than looking at the postural causes. And same old story. We're not going to relax. You know, this isn't just one treatment wonder. This is going to be a series of treatments over a few weeks and months to really start to ease out. Although that feels like he's easing a bit, Kat. Do you agree, or is it? Okay. It was me. Was I being hopeful? Do you think? I might have been just being hopeful. I don't know. It feels a little bit fashy better for me. I'm going to do the other side, but I'm aware if I do the other side, you probably won't see very much. So if I do that, you just get the back of my backside in your camera. So I'm sorry about that. And let's just see. Does that work? Yeah, you can see a bit of that, can't you? And that forearm coming up. No, I don't think so bad on this side, Kat. It doesn't feel as solid, does it? Say that again, sorry. Yeah. No, it feels quite kind on this side, doesn't it? Yeah. Nice. That feels kind of clear on that side. I don't feel like I need to do much more on that side. Again, coming into that rhomboid, trying to get behind the scapula. And then we're looking in the levator here that looks pretty horrible. I'm sorry, you can't really, yeah? Is that where we are, Kat? Yeah, let's see if we can just break that. So from this side, let's see if I can show you that sort of move on the neck. So Kat comes up like a snake. And as she comes up, then I put the pressure on. So I'm on the couch. I come up with my forearm. Can you see? Yeah, okay. So really coming up, gathering up upper track, and I lift it. Kat comes up, and as she comes down, I really put the pressure on. And then she comes back up again, and as she goes back down, I put the pressure on. And I'm working right in that lumbarous groove. Come up again, back down again. And I'll just follow that, and I can do a little bit without her moving, but I really like that engaging of the spinae. And then coming back up again first. Really nice. And you can just let your body weight drop into there, and it works so nicely. And then back up again first. And again. And again. And then back down. So then if I play around a little bit more on levator on this side. So here we got our trap, and we've got the spine and the scapula, trapezius above, infraspinatus, and then we come along that spine, and we've got that medial border, and just above that sitting. So here is that whole levator scapula kind of gunky stuff that is really kind of unpleasant. And I think we're not far off having a doing a bit of MET. I've kind of laid it off a bit this evening, MET, but I think I found myself wanting to do a bit of MET on levator, and I haven't done too much on track really tonight. And interesting, I kind of felt that, and saw there, I guess, and I guess this is where it radiates, is it? Yeah. So levator scapula is the kind of culprit of tension here. I can really feel bumping over the, the tendon of it as I come over it. Really feel it very, very easy to feel and tender. And I guess if I press on it, it's sore. Yeah, so I'll just let some Golgi receptor work on that. Just hold it, classic trigger point kind of release work, and just let that go. So breathe in for me. And then as you breathe out, just relax. Yeah, we'll just. But I think we're gonna. I'll crack on with a bit of MET on it. I think too much to do in 1 hour. Kat. That's where we are. We got lots of stuff down here, haven't we? That whole fascial line through there is pretty solid. And I think the question is always, when you meet something and you get some tissue that's really solid, what do you do with it? What do you do? Do you just rub over it saying to the client, gosh, you're very naughty? Or do you find a way of dropping in and having a conversation with it and letting the tissue kind of just break down underneath, underneath your forearm, your elbow, whatever. You can see that? Yeah, okay. You got a reasonable camera on that. That's good. And here I am. I'm really, where am I? I'm on the spinae. I'm on the levator scapular attachment. I'm on, a bit of rhomboids in there. I don't know. Does it matter? Not really. I'm not that fussed at this point. I just know that this chain down here is pretty solid. So I'm going to sit here and just, my intention is down the spine. I'm just letting that relax. So a nice slow breath in. When you're ready, Kat, there's no rush. Just take your time, and as you breathe out, just let that shoulder just release off. No rush.
Yeah, it's really good. That's
Is that feeling okay though? If I did more of it?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting trying to explain this to clients, isn't it? You know, like what's happened, Chris? Are you falling asleep or something, or you got bored, or you know, why are you so slow? Why aren't you doing the kind of traditional massage, kind of pumping up and down and lots of effleurage, you know? And it's all I can ask you to do is have a go at this with somebody that you know, and just have a go. Just have a go. I've done enough on that now. I don't want to really say. I'm going to finish off and turn you back over again, Kat, if that's all right. And then we're just just having a bit of a play on levator scapular MET, and that will be. So which way do you want to go? Do you want to go that way? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. All right. Comfy. Perfect. You warm enough?
Yeah, we could.
So now I've kind of released off some of that stuff down the chain, down the spine. I want to just say hello to this neck again and just see how we're doing. How's it feeling? What's the rotation like for your neck? How does it actually feel?
Maybe more this side.
Does it feel different?
Hard to say. I'd say lying down, but it's the.
Does it hurt you more when you're standing up? So I'm going to come back into that fascial, that gully again, and which is always a sort of a benchmark for me to feel how things are, and you know, I feel okay about that.
Feels a bit lighter, just generally.
Yeah. I'm going to come into this side again, just open up the neck, and again I'm going to use my index finger and middle finger as a sort of a lovely, sort of like a spade, isn't it? Like you can just drop in. It just feels so nice to do. And before this was really solid, and I think it still is. Actually, no, I think it feels a little easier. What do you think, Kat?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit freer in there, isn't it? A little bit, not a lot. Okay, so that gives me a kind of idea. Upper traps feel pretty tight. I'm going to now just do two lots of MET. I'm going to do classic trapezius move, and then I'll do levator scapula, sort of bench classic here. I quite often get people sat up, but you know, just the faff with the camera for this. So I'm going to start on the right side because I don't know why, it just feels like the right thing to do. So I'm going to come in and put my hand on Kat's shoulder. What I'm going to do, Kat, is actually bring the outside. So it just gives me something to grip on.
Yep.
So now I just want you to push your shoulder very gently up into my hand, just like elevate it. Yeah, perfect. And then your ear to my arm, the same kind of pressure. So it's a sideways, so just put, perfect. And then just, that's it, perfect. And just keep that pressure. I'll tell you when to stop. So it's usually about 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, and then just relax for me. I'm going to put Kat's head over a little bit. I'm going to hold down the scapula. My other hand's going to come around the back of the ear, not grabbing her too much. So breath in for me, please, Kat. And as she breathes out, I'm going to just anchor that shoulder and pull the neck over. So what am I going to do? I want a stretch of about 2. out of 5, you know, 2 or 3 out of 5. About there. And then just going to hold that stretch. Sometimes it's quite hard to hold this position. I find my left, often my hand that's holding the head starts to shake, and it's quite hard to sort of get it right, but works quite well. I'm going to come in and do that again. So I'm going to hold that position and again lift into my arm here. Yeah, so up, raise your shoulders, that's it, and then push it. Yeah, perfect. And then just hold. And then relax for me. Take a nice slow breath in, and as you breathe out again, please just let me do the work. So I'm just going to anchor that shoulder again and just pull through. Tell me when to stop. What a pressure of about a 2, you know. Is that there? And then I'll do that one more time. So just lift into my hand again, and then push into it. Yeah. Perfect. Ah. Good evening, madam. How are you doing?
Did you just see me?
Yeah, of course I saw you, Wendy. I wanted to say hello to you.
Hello.
Mark and I have missed you, haven't we, Mark? It's been terrible.
I'm back, guys.
Yeah.
Certainly have. It's very nice to see you, Wendy.
Well, lovely to see you. Oh, is it not nice being back to, well, not to normal, but getting there?
Yeah. How's your practice going in your little room?
Well, good news on that. Hence the reason I haven't been here. I've been doing Sunday evenings and Monday evenings and a few other evenings and a few treatments on Sundays. But they've offered me a position doing all treatments in the salon from the 8th of October on Thursdays and Fridays.
That's so cool. That is so nice to hear.
Work for myself, doing my own thing.
That's really nice to hear, Wendy. Well done.
Absolutely knackered. Yeah.
Congratulations, Wendy.
Hence the reason I don't look too good, but I've got home. I was planning on being with you all at 7 tonight. Here I am at 5 to 8. But yeah, so I'm doing all the massage again as well. So I've done quite a lot of full body massage, and I'm worn out. So need to get a few tips because I wasn't intending on getting back into that quite yet.
That's cool.
It's lovely to see you all.
Yeah, I dressed up with this special PPE just for you, Wendy. I knew you were going to be here tonight, and I thought maybe we should have a competition about the best PPE.
Yeah, mine looks pretty similar to that, actually.
I put a little Cotswold Academy logo on the side of mine. I thought it would sort of, you know, jazz it up a bit.
Yeah, I think we've got black with Essence Beauty on the side.
Have you? Oh, yeah. That looks cool. I like that.
I'm actually having a haircut, so people might actually recognise me. And 28th of February was the last time. So I might look a bit more normal when I see you all next time. I've not gone back to black. It's so nice to see you.
Well, as we said we would during lockdown, that we would try and you know, think of a way in which we could get the kind of the sessions back on, you know, being really beneficial. The whole kind of Zoom sessions.
That's good. I would have liked to have seen it all tonight, really. But it'll be online again, won't it?
Yeah. No, the game plan is to run 7 to 8 every Thursday night, and you know, have a go at doing some different treatments as we go through. The last 2 or 3 I've done sort of upper, but I am working my way down. So just lift and push. Although, you know, having said that, our bread and butter is always necks and shoulders. It's the stuff that we just come into our clinic on such a regular basis. And the hope is, like, you know, that we could do all sorts of things, and I'm open to all sorts of discussions about how and where we take these evenings. You know, I've decided to start off by just sharing a little bit about what goes on in my clinic. But I'm happy. I was chatting to a lady who's got a frozen shoulder, and I was thinking actually she might be a case study, and I might do a case study live for us all to sort of have our pennies worth in and have a think about working with her and her shoulder, and which I thought could be really, really quite fun to do. So pushing.
Yeah, because now I wasn't intending on getting back in with the massage, which is sort of like, yeah, so I'd be well up for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still in that sort of, like we all are, in that place of journey where we're trying to get used to this and relax.
And how's everybody else finding wearing the mask and the visor?
Really easy.
Have you been doing lots, Mark?
Yeah, I had a really busy week last week. Not so busy this week, but yeah, it's been okay. I'm finding with the mask and the visor, the visor gets a bit steamy.
Yeah,
I can just about see through it.
I know, because actually I have been once or twice when I've rolled them over onto their front. I have lifted the visor like that, because otherwise you do get so steamed up, don't you? Well, I do.
Yeah, I get steamed up as well.
There's absolutely no way you could wear glasses. Because I'm well impressed that Chris has got his glasses on. I would be nothing.
I've got these. I've got these kind of glasses ones. Can you see? They're kind of.
Oh, I didn't see that.
The phone, let me show you.
So with those ones, Chris, you don't have like the foam at the top.
No.
They're barber ones or something, aren't they? Or something like that. That's what my hairdresser said. They said it.
And they're very usable, and they're big, and they're fine. I mean, you know, I've been wearing a mask through this treatment, but they're okay. They're okay. They don't get steamed up. But it's okay.
Two.
Say again, Wendy.
You're wearing one glove, not two.
Oh, I cut my finger.
Oh, right.
I sliced my finger over on Saturday, and it's quite nasty. So I just decided to wear a glove.
I didn't know if it was, yeah. No, so that's just
all part of my new. Right, I just want to run through MET on levator. So I'm holding the shoulder down that I want to work on levator. The chin goes towards the armpit of the client, opposite armpit. I bring the elbow up and I bring the head up, and I push the head down, the shoulder down as I push through there. So that's my stretch, and then I ask Kat to just push her head into my hand, and then she engages levator, and we just hold that for a few seconds, and then relax, and then breath in. Okay, and then I get a bit of a stretch from there. And how does that feel, Kat?
Yes, it is.
Got a decent stretch?
Mm-hmm.
So come back and just push into my hand again. So your head, not your shoulder. Push your head back. And then relax. Take a breath in and release. A number of ways you can do this. I tend to do it seated, but yeah, the client's seated. But I just thought, as the camera's here for this, then it might be more easier to see when I do the other side in terms of technique. But and then I come through, hand through, holding the shoulder down of the muscle that you want to work on, levator scapula. Hand behind the head, holding the back of the head, holding that shoulder down. Yeah, you can see. And then coming up with my forearm and pushing the head chin into the opposing armpit. So then the client pushes back into my hand. Perfect. Engaging levator. Holding it for 5 to 10 seconds. And then release, and then just let go. Breath in for me, please, Kat. And just let that shoulder drop. I suppose the other really important thing to remember here is that we don't, you know, I think we have to be kind of mindful of what we try and achieve in one treatment. It's so easy to think, oh, I'll sort that out. Somehow I can undo hours and hours and hours of poor posture. To push back into my hand. And I can somehow get that all better in one treatment. No way, you know, something that's chronic, that's taken months and months and months and not years to get into a position and relax, is going to take some treatment. So the things to take from this evening, I suppose, is have a go at slowing everything down. Have a go of using hardly any wax at all. I'm always dry. I've used shea butter tonight. Have a go at doing hardly any wax, any oil at all, and just get a maximum kind of grip on the skin. And then have a go at doing something which is incredibly slow, and just feel what's going on. And that that ability to feel the lumps and bumps will develop. And pushing. And I learned a phrase the other day that if we say, well, I can't feel anything, then by definition, you're saying that you're not going to. Why don't you just have a go and just stay with the idea that this development of my skill will come. The intention of trying is half the battle.
I've learned something. You may not have helped you at all.
You get a star, Kat. How are we doing?
Yeah, okay, thanks.
All right, we're just. I'm aware of time. We just come over 8 o'clock, so I'm aware of. I just want to just feel what's happening now. I stretched out levator a bit. I want to just see, particularly, scalenes on this left side. Recap my treatment. Notice very much protraction of the right side for Kat, and decided to work mainly on the right side. And when it came through anterior deltoid and upper tract, just felt really kind of solid on this right side, even though the pain is so located and so acute around the left shoulder and scalenes and upper trap and, winging down the arm. So let's just have just a little bit of play in here, just see if there's any change in that fascial chain at all. What do you think, Kat? You're not impressed, are you? Yeah.
The right side just feels lighter.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, and you just feel this real tightness in here still, haven't you? And I have a drop in there when I think, whoa, yeah, just really solid through there. And we need to see you again, don't we? Well, let's carry on and further Thursdays or whatever. But and I think, in an hour there, I've done what I would consider a fairly good introduction to what I wanted to achieve, and get that kind of beginnings of unwrapping the chronic stuff. So thank you. Look, guys, I'm going to say goodnight because I've got a group of people here. Look, you can have a look. Let me show you the other people in the room. Look, I can do a little bit of this. Yeah, and a little bit here. See, there's lots of other people doing a bit of stuff, which is cool, isn't it?
Good to see it back to vaguely normal.
Well, yeah, I'm allowed to have 8 people in here, and it seems to be working okay. I'm going to say goodbye.
Bye. Lovely to see you.
Nice to see you, Wendy. Really, really
Thanks
lovely to see people. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank
How
you.
are you, Izzy? How are you getting on? Are you all right?
Thanks,
there?
Chris. Nice to see you, Wendy.
Cheers, Mark.
Yeah, lovely to see you
Thank
too,
you so
Mark.
much.
See you soon.
Take care,
Take care.
everyone.
Take care.
Catch you
Cheers.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye. Thanks, Chris, very much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.